Welcome to today's top story, coming straight from the ongoing Ukraine crisis. On March 18, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a significant 2.5-hour phone call, sparking global attention. This conversation, one of the longest between the two leaders in recent times, was aimed at addressing the war in Ukraine, a conflict that has gripped the world's focus for over 3 years. So, what came out of it? Sources indicate the discussion centered on a potential ceasefire. While no full truce was agreed upon, a key outcome emerged. Russia consented to temporarily halt attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. This is a notable step, as Russian strikes have repeatedly targeted Ukraine's power grid, leaving millions in the dark, especially during harsh winters. The White House hailed this as an initial move toward peace, though a comprehensive 30-day ceasefire remains elusive. The backdrop to this call is intriguing. Just a week earlier, on March 11th, a marathon 8-hour meeting in Saudi Arabia between U.S. and Ukrainian delegations resulted in Ukraine reluctantly agreeing to a 30-day ceasefire proposal pushed by the Trump administration. In exchange, the U.S. resumed military aid and intelligence support, a lifeline for Ukraine amid fears of losing ground without it. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio remarked, "The ball is now in Russia's court. It's up to them to choose peace." But Putin's stance during the March 18th call came with conditions. He reportedly demanded that Ukraine halt new military recruitment, stop training, and end imports of weapons and intelligence support, terms Ukraine has called unrealistic. Kiev officials argue Putin is stalling, using the pause to regroup his fatigued forces. Despite the impasse, one positive note stood out. Both sides agreed to a prisoner exchange, with 175 captives from each side set to be swapped today, alongside Russia releasing 23 wounded Ukrainian soldiers. The call wasn't without tension. Hours after it ended, Russian and Ukrainian forces traded strikes. In Ukraine's Sumy region, a hospital and residential areas took heavy damage, underscoring the fragile state of affairs. Neither Trump nor Putin has shared detailed accounts of their talk, leaving a haze over what was truly achieved. Kremlin statements reiterated Putin's insistence that Western military aid to Ukraine must stop entirely for any lasting peace, while Trump's team emphasized the energy attack pause as progress. Looking ahead, more talks are on the horizon. On March 23rd, U.S. and Russian delegations will meet in Saudi Arabia, led by Rubio and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Details are scarce, but Putin's conditions, including limits on Ukraine's military capacity, will likely dominate the agenda. For now, this partial concession on energy infrastructure offers a glimmer of hope. If upheld, it could mark the first mutually agreed de-escalation in this war since 2022, potentially easing the burden on Ukrainian civilians this winter. That's where things stand as of March 20th, 2025. Stay tuned for updates as this story develops.